Hello, friends and buddies. Today we're going to do a really cool giraffe and oxpecker. You can see, if I can make it focus, how there's different colors underneath the scratches in 2 layers of oil pastels. So we're going to get out our oil pastels today, some kind of old gift card that you can scrape with, and a clicky pencil where you can take the lead and push it all the way in and just use that nice sharp point for some scratching. Okay, so first thing you gotta do is get out your oil pastels, and you're gonna separate them with, between hot and cold colors. So when I think of hot, I think of the sun first of all. So I start with my yellows and oranges, reds, pinks. Okay, sometimes I leave my purples way out here. Black makes shades, and white makes tints. Those aren't colors, so we put those to the side. We'll use those. And oh, here's another yellow. So are these hot or cold colors right here? These are my hot colors, like the sun. And then I put my blues, greens, and purples up here for my cool colors. Now, actually, this is close to a pink. So, and I don't know if you can see that. So that could be in the hot section, but I like it next to my cool purple, so I'm keeping it up here. Okay, so now that I have my colors separated into warm and cool, I'm going to use my underlayer, will be nice and warm, light colors. And then I'll use my cool colors for the overlayer in my giraffe. So I'm going to put these over here. My brown and black and white can just stay up there for now. And we're going to cover the first part of our paper, we're going to cover with our cool colors. Now, I'm thinking we're going to do a giraffe with ossicles up here. Maybe I want pink to show. I'm rubbing nice and hard. See how hard that is? Nice and hard. And I'm just going to cover my paper. His ears are going to be out here. I'm going to have maybe some, oh, what happens if I break it? Should I cry? No. These break, and then use the small pieces. I'm going to use some yellows, some pink, some reds. And this will show through when I'm doing his neck. So I'm going to have a giraffe head up here, and his neck is going to be down here, and I'm pressing nice and hard. So you go ahead and cover your paper with some nice juicy oil pastels and all the hot and warm colors. Okay, I scribbled a lot. I see some paper showing through. Wherever there's paper showing through, either take a white and just kind of mix your colors in so that the paper doesn't show through, or a light color and just kind of go over each pocket. And that makes sure that it's like you're leaving none of the paper dry, because you don't want it to soak up the top layer into the bottom layer. So I'm just covering each little crack. You can even use the side of your white. And as soon as you've gotten like all that covered and no paper showing through on the white spots, you can use your handy dandy gift card. Now this one isn't actually used yet, so I'm going to use this edge. And we're going to start maybe from the top or from the side and pull. And your goal is to just scratch off any excess oil pastel. And I'm just going to take that and put it in a careful spot on my scrap paper over here so I can dump it into the garbage and it's not going to stick to the table. So I'm just going to kind of like vacuuming the room. I'm going to scrape across my paper until I've covered all the rows, or mowing the lawn. Because if you go in order, then you don't miss any of the parts. And I have this side of my paper still to scrape off. So if I scrape it off, then I can use more oil pastels and they won't blend if it's scraped off. Now, if I didn't scrape it off, then if I add a color on top, it would mix in with the colors on the bottom. And instead of mixing in, I want my colors to just float on the top. Okay, now I've used my gift card, that edge. My first time I used a metal spatula, that works too. Just have to clean it off really well before you use it for cookies again. Okay, so I've used my hot colors, all my nice warm colors, orange, yellow, red, pinks. I'm gonna put them to the side. and get my cool colors. What are cool colors? Greens, blues, and purples, dark purple. Beautiful, I can't wait. Okay, I love these colors. We're gonna go ahead and do our giraffe because today we have so much to learn from a friend of the giraffe. But we have to draw the giraffe before we can draw his friend. I'll show you what I mean in a second. I'm gonna pick purple for the outline of my giraffe. Now, the first thing we gotta do is make sure you can see the top of my paper. There we go. My paper goes another inch after my finger. I'm just looking. So here at the top of my paper, I'm gonna give 2 tall hills, just like that, like a long Dr. Seuss hill. Kind of 2 lumpy hills. It almost looks like a curvy M, doesn't it? Or 2 fingers sticking up on the top of the giraffe's head with a tiny U in the bottom and tiny rainbows on the top. After you have 2 ossicles on the top with room for ears, I'm just grabbing another color for the fun of it. Our ears are shaped like diamonds. If you watch what I mean, I'm gonna go up and over, and then down and back in. You can kind of see how it's almost like a diamond shape coming out. We'll try it again on this side. It's gonna go up and then over, right? Then down and back in. There you go. 2 giraffe ears. Nice, sweet giraffe ears. Now, a certain thing about giraffes, their eyes are on the sides. And let's make them just dramatic eyes. Oh, I love giraffe eyes. A giraffe eye, it comes under the ear, and they're gonna go like a rainbow, like this. And then I slant it a little bit, but this eyelash. Maybe I'll use black on my first one. I'll do another one here. His other eye is under his ear on the side, and it's a rainbow with an eyelash coming out. Rainbow and an eyelash. Underneath the rainbow, we're gonna do just inside the rainbow, it's gonna be a little U, but save a white spot. It's almost like you're gonna take your white and give a little white reflection and then color black around the white. See that? So you're giving them a black eyeball, but leaving a white reflection. I'm gonna do the same on this side, a little U, and I'm gonna leave a white reflection, like a big circle I draw, and then color around my circle. So I can have a place for my white. Whoosh, just like that. Oh, he's gonna be so cute. What else does a giraffe need? Let's see, he needs a nose. But did you know that a giraffe, oh boy, let's see. We're gonna give him, how about a long U like this, underneath his eyes, a long U. And he does have nostrils that kind of do this. It almost like these little area like that. We're gonna give him his top lip here, but did you know that giraffes have purple tongues? Watch this. What I want you to do for his purple tongue, it's called a prehensile tongue. Watch first and then do. We're gonna do a big fat S. And then have it come over to his mouth. So I'm gonna make a U and then go around and make his S like this. Okay, now I'm gonna fatten it up. So he has a purple tongue coming out, fatter on this side, fatter. There we go. I'm gonna darken it up so you can see even more. A fat purple S, and I'll show you. Prehensile means he can twirl it around a branch, strip the branch of leaves, and not even get thorns stuck in. Oh, don't color in your S all the way yet, because from the skinny part of the S and the skinny part of the S, if you watch this first, you're gonna wanna put a little brown branch from the skinny part to this skinny part here, and then behind and out. We're gonna show, and behind the top, how he can wrap his tongue around a branch. Isn't this amazing? And then strip the leaves off. Even though there's thorns, God made a giraffe have just an amazing purple tongue that can take all these leaves off without getting poked by all the thorns. Can you believe that? It's so crazy. Okay, go for it. You're gonna do a purple S, make it fat, and then in the tiny U part right here to this other part, this other U part here, you're gonna add a brown stick. All right, while you work on that, I'm coloring in my leaves. Here we go. Purple S is prehensile. You can say prehensile tongue. So amazing. Did you know his tongue is 21 inches long? About 21 inches long. That's crazy. All right. You can pause to do your stuff, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and do the next part. We have a tongue. Let's give him the lower part of his jaw behind the tongue, okay? So I'm just gonna color a little blue there. Now that I have the shapes here, let's also give him a neck. From here, we're gonna give the back of his neck here, and then the back of his neck behind the sleeve here. So he's coming like this. Oh my, you are now ready to take some of your different colors and give your giraffe some spots over his red and orange, some spots, some designs on his giraffe body. Now, I was thinking maybe I would do like blue spots and then like yellow on the inside, but what you want to do is spots that are a different color than the color underneath. So maybe I wouldn't do this purple over red because it's too close, but I would do it over here. And now I'm just gonna color in his face with blotches of different colors that I just think look good together. So, and they're just I'm just gonna make sure they're different than what's underneath them. So you just go for it, color them in. Purples, I'm doing cool colors over my hot colors. And then we'll get to do the fun scratching part afterwards. If you don't know what color to do, you can always add white or a little bit of black and make gray. That neutral color always works when you run out of other colors. I did that on my first one for the background. And, oh, there's my green. I'm gonna do a green giraffe. And I like a gray. I love gray. I think a blue background would be really nice, like a sky blue. I don't know where my sky blue went, but I could always use this turquoise with some white on top and swirl it together. If I use my white on top, here I'll do some blue here, pressing hard, and then white on top. Look at that, how creamy. Woo woo, looks so cool. All right, have fun. Okay, I've finished coloring in with nice hard strokes all over his face and the patterns down his neck. And I even put some white over the background. And not all the background, I didn't finish that, but I thought, I could do it later. Now it's time to use the skinny piece of, it can be the edge of a fork if you wash it when you're done, or it can be one of these pencils. I like it, it's easy. Did you know, oh my goodness, let's share screen real quick with some real giraffes. Okay, here we go. Oh no, purple tongue can reach up, yes, to their nose. Here we go, wrapping around the leaves, very good. And look what he has here. He has these little guys, these are called oxpeckers. We're gonna be the hero of the story, hero or not, we'll see. Here's another picture Friend or foe? Hard to determine. Some scientists say they're friends because they pick the ticks off of the fur of the giraffe, and look how furry he is. And some say he's a foe because if a giraffe has a cut, he will keep that cut open to suck the blood of his giraffe. Yeah. So here he is, an oxpecker. Notice he has a yellow and red beak, red eyes here. Some of them have yellow eyes with red. Let's see if I can find a picture of those guys. You can almost see a yellow eye with a red dot in the middle. Okay, so oxpeckers. Let's stick some oxpeckers in here. And that will be, let's see, I'm gonna use, because oxpeckers are gray, they have like this little top here, right? And then a wing, like so, like a teardrop, and then a long little tail, and their legs go this direction. Okay, but the oxpecker has a red on his beak. Ooh, I have to find a corner. Red on his beak with yellow, and it goes into his face, just like that. And then also his eye is a yellow, big yellow dot with red in the middle. Friend or foe? We shall see. Now, since I used black, I'm just gonna use my white around and smear the black into a nice gray, because oxpeckers have a lot of gray on them. They have a little bit of white on their belly, but gray. Ooh, is he a friend or a foe? Let's do another one. Maybe right here. I'm gonna do like, there's his beak. Little bit of, and a circle for his eye. Red in the middle of his eye. Red on the tip of his beak. And let's do a rainbow for his head, right? A teardrop for his wing. And then I'll even do a belly and his tail, which you can't see because it goes off the paper. Very good. And how do we turn that black into gray? Wait, let's just smear it in, go around the eye, into the black a little bit. I love this about oil pastels. Now, it's funny because for years, scientists said, oh, oxpeckers, they get the mosquitoes and the ticks, and they're such good friends. They have a symbiotic relationship with giraffes. Well, when they looked into it, they were like, wait a minute. Some of these oxpeckers are causing the wounds to never heal because they want to keep sucking the blood. Wait a minute. And others, they're not sure. So I'm using, with that, you can put the lead in and use a pencil, then it leaves a brown line, or you can scoot the lead all the way in, and then you have this way to create little, can you see it? I'll show you on this one. Oh, I gotta shake off all the peelings I left on there. Oh, he has such fur. We're gonna use some. I'm still recording, and a phone came to my computer. Can you believe that? I'm gonna give him some fur by just some short strokes right there on his little chinny chin. I don't know if you can see them. I'm gonna give little fur coming out his ossicles. He's nice long, and then even you can show directional force by the way that you make your lines. And I'll make this go. You can see I'm going up and down his nose. But what about down the side of his face? We'll go sideways, and then sideways this way. Can you see that a little bit? I'll show you up close in a sec. But we're giving him furry fur. And oh my, they have lots of fur coming, kind of like a grandpa with fur coming out their ears. Do you guys have grandpas with fur in their ears? I did when I had a grandpa, and I just think it's part of their charm. Furry ears. Here, giraffe. Let me give you some awesome fur. And how about here? Do you see the direction? So even when you color, the direction that you color matters, because you help whoever's looking at your art, their eyes to go the direction that you color or that you scrape. So if I do short little strokes, it'll look like smooth short fur, and long will be like hairy fur, right? Okay, I'm gonna pick this up and make it go closer. All right, do you see that? I'm putting all kinds of texture on my awesome giraffe head. See if you can see that. It's very fun. Okay, ox peckers. While you guys put some stripes and dots and plaids on your giraffe neck, I'm gonna tell you some cool facts I found about giraffes and ox peckers. All right, so, giraffe. Did you know they only sleep 30 minutes to 2 hours a day? They birth standing up, so a baby will clunk right out and be able to stand within 1 hour, but that baby had to drop 5 feet. So the Lord sometimes gives us things that are difficult, painful, but hey, they're for our good, because that baby needed to get that clunk in order to get his heart really moving before he had to, within an hour, be able to stand and walk again. It's part of God's design. God makes the giraffe with a huge heart, 25-pound heart, which he needs to pump the blood against the gravity all the way up his neck to his brain, which is about 6 feet. If God didn't give him a huge heart, he wouldn't be able to survive, but God has given you. It says in 1 Peter, everything that you need for life and godliness. He gives you a big enough heart to love the people he's put in your life. What else? There's tiny spigots in the neck arteries that close whenever the head is lowered to prevent blood from rushing to the brain, which would explode his head. There's so many ways that the giraffe was created that prove that evolution could never have existed. It could never have been the way for a giraffe to be created. He needed everything that he has in order to survive. It couldn't have just slowly evolved, and then if only, he hadn't had his spigots, at first. He needed them from the beginning. He needed his big heart from the beginning. It could not have started small and then grown a little larger. He needed everything that God gave him. So creation scientists use the giraffe and many other animals to prove that God knew what he was doing when he created us and animals. I'm just adding white on my background because then it helps the foreground pop out. But the most important lesson, I think, is the oxpecker in this study. Because are you going to be a blood sucker or a tick plucker? If your friend has a problem, do you help them or hurt them? And what I mean by that is, if you have a problem and your friend is killing you in Minecraft and you don't want them to, do you insult them or bless them? Do you bring peace and kindness by your words, or do you bring blame? Do you escalate? The word escalate means, do you make it a hot, heated argument, or do you bring peace? And you have the power with your words and the heart that God has given you to be a blessing. Romans 12:14 says, bless and do not curse. That means that you have choices to show amazing power in your life to bring blessing to people. A tick plucker would say, oh, let's talk about this. Or, hey, I'll help. What can I do? Or, would it help if and you think of ideas to help. Or you'd say, you're worth it, and I like you. We can work this out when there's a problem. But a bloodsucker, bloodsuckers say, it's his fault. He made me do it. Or it's mine. Or I don't care. A bloodsucker shows that other people are not valuable to them. They're just trying to preserve themselves. But God has given us a bigger heart who can think of others and find creative ways to bring blessing no matter the circumstances. God has given it to us because he created us, and he created us with purpose to be a blessing. Okay, I think my crazy giraffe and ox peckers Hungry giraffe with a purple tongue is about done. I can't wait to see what you guys do with adding texture to your oil pastels. And I would love to hear how you're going to be a tick plucker instead of a blood sucker. Okay, see you next time.